This is our paranormal podcast because this is our paranormal community, and we want to support you here on RU Media Network. We are proud to be sponsored by the Haunted Hinsdale House in Hinsdale, New York. Here are your hosts, Brian Mersall and Sean Gilmore.
Oh, happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to our paranormal podcast here on RU Media Network. I'm Sean Gilmore, co-host Brian Mersall. How's it going, brother?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm having a frustrating week, but what are you gonna do? You have those.
Yeah.
You know, just keep on going, man. Looking forward to nice weather, nice long weekend.
Well, if there's one thing that I know that can change anyone's attitude or, bad luck streak, it's having Sean Maynard here or Austin Maynard here. Sorry, I just got you guys confused.
What was that, dude?
I don't know if there's like
I
a
thought you were
little,
go like Austin Cold.
Sean Maynard.
No. Well, hey, maybe you guys are,
Sean
maybe you guys
Maynard.
got something going on. Who knows?
Maynard James Keenan, maybe. No.
You think you're building a spirit box, but who knows? But hey, Austin, how you doing?
It's Austin Maynard.
Good, man.
How's it going, brother? It's been a long time, man. You came on to the show when the show was at its earliest, one of our first guests when we were Into the Abyss with John Ward. And I know we're going to have a good time again tonight, man. We have a lot to talk about. You have a lot of cool stuff. Man, you got more locations since you last came on, dude.
When did I last come on, man? Okay, so how long ago was that?
It's been a long time, man. You've gotten the last time, I think, man, it's like at least you were the show's been on for 2 years now, over 2 years now. So it's probably been about 2 years.
How many did I have in the first show?
Well, you had the town, right, with the granary and the restaurant with the see-through floor into the grave.
Father John's.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's all. Yeah. That's all not really. It's not really accessible at the moment. But
yeah,
I still have the jail in Bryan, at least.
Hey, yeah, that's right. It's Haunted Bryan, Ohio.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Man,
Is that the only one I had?
What's that?
Was that the only one I had at the time?
I think you were starting. I don't know. Was it the school? You were starting one. You were getting into them. I know you were getting into them. You're cleaning up. You're getting into new stuff.
We're up to 6 now.
Yeah,
Hopefully
you are.
7. We're waiting on final word from the.
That's the event. Hold on.
That's my July event, actually.
That's your event. Yeah, I pulled that because I wanted to. We gotta advertise that for you. But I had a poster here with all of your locations. I thought. Oh, I'm feeling today.
Had it up on the flyer, I think.
I did. And then I'll get it up there. But so you got, of course, you have the haunted Middletown School.
Middle Point.
Sorry. Oh, my God. I told you, man, it's been a rough week. Real rough. So we got the Middle Point School. And the reason why I'm familiar with it, because I'm going to be going there. We're hosting a public ghost hunt as a fundraiser, which you are graciously donating the location for the Felicias and for us to raise money for them and support their fight for cancer or fight against cancer, I should say. So it's amazing that you're doing that. And man, I can't tell you, man, it's the amount of support that's coming through for this event is absolutely insane. And it's just so cool to see the community come together. We have this long gone doll that's over here. That's donated, and that's going to be auctioned off. Here we go. Where's it at? See, here we go. Here's your locations. So the doll's going to be auctioned off. It's still the same poster, dude. Can I just like retire for the day? I'm just done. What the heck is going on right now?
I'm kind of stuck on what I should talk about.
I know, and I'm like stuck on what I'm trying to do here. I'm getting distracted, and I'm not clear-headed right now. I apologize, everybody. But okay. Backing up a little bit.
There it is.
These are the locations. Man, I have heard some really good stuff about this Middle Point school. I'm so excited to go here because I've heard some really good stuff about it. I've also heard some really good stuff about the 6th precinct in Detroit. Not that I ever want to purposely go to Detroit, but I'm gonna eventually to go to this jail. Sorry, being from Cleveland, Ohio, you know, you got the Cavs, Pistons, you got the Buckeyes versus the Wolverines. There's just so, you know, there's a lot of rivalries going on. And actually, there's been a rivalry between Ohio and Michigan ever since there was a war. There's literally a battle between the border. I can't even freaking think of the word border. So it's actually really cool history that's in that whole area, even throughout. And you got the Black Swamp and all that, and so it's so cool that you're able to tap into that history with your locations.
Yeah. I mean, we started out, I think, just with Brian, but like we grew to I added on to Middle Point. Then we added on Westwood School. Westwood is really crazy too. And then we added on, the Village, and we had just those 4 for a while, and those are the base 4 locations that I have. And I mean, the Village is like 40 acres. It's got like 28 buildings, and I think 18 of them are 100 plus years old. Some of them are like almost 150 years old, honestly. Well,
that's crazy.
Actually, more than that. The Kinner Cabin was built in 1850, so I guess it's 171 years old.
171.
Yeah, and the same family lived and died in that place for 106 years. They lived in it until 1956. It's a little 2-story, 2-room cabin. It's crazy.
Man, that's cool. That's the type of thing that brings in that the type of energy that we look for when we go and investigate, because people when they have that type of a connection to that property, they kind of want to stick around.
Well, that's what I think about too, is like a family where birth and death is happening in the same location. Yeah. I mean, what else do you associate with that? Hospitals, right? Asylums, infirmary, stuff where, right. I mean, it's just those. Yeah, I mean, that kind of energy is almost like it's a portal entering and exiting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you die in your home, your body would be there for a while. That's why they had those wicker caskets, and then you have your funeral in the home. I mean, the whole thing, and then you could back then you could literally be born and then die in the same home.
Mm-hmm.
And like these days, it's like there's no way that you would. I don't know. Not too many people get to do that. That to me though would be awesome.
Well, they don't make homes like they used to either.
They sure don't.
I mean, that thing is like a log cabin that has like the clay with the horsehair and everything.
Yeah.
But they literally just took it log by log and rebuilt it on the property of the Village. And it's just crazy how many generations in 106 years.
I mean,
how many generations? That's at least 3.
At least 3 or 4, right?
Yeah, I'd say 3 or 4.
You would think. So I mean, 3 or 4 generations of families that lived and died in the home. That were, well, I guess the first generation, there were 9 kids, I believe. 9 kids that lived in this little 2-story cabin. It's just
See,
nuts.
that's crazy. That's
That is
crazy. Man.
crazy.
Like you go to these places, like the thing I can like compare that to would be the Hensel house. You go in this little house and you picture a family, like a full family living in this little teeny tiny little living space. I don't know, man. Man. I'm sorry. Yes, that I did reference a Disney movie there. So Aladdin. So.
My wife can dig it. She loves that movie, man. In fact, that was my favorite movie as a kid, Aladdin.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Interesting.
well, John Ward says, I see you're starting a vintage creepy collection going on there a bit. Well, actually, I'm not. I do have this Raggedy Ann doll, which is a pretty neat thing that I got from Erin. That was supposed to go to Brian, but I was like, no, that's cool. She looks good on my chair, so I kept her. This here is a long gone doll, and I have it on display because, guys,
why?
we are auctioning this doll off at the Ghost Hunt for Brian. So you can bid for this little guy. It could be yours. He could sit on your couch and scare the crap out of your guests and keep your kids out of your room. He does a lot of things. He's a long gone doll designed by Terry Long. Yeah, my kids won't come down into my office at all since I put them down here.
What's the three biggest benefits of owning that doll, Sean?
Three. Well, first of all, you have a long gone doll.
Mm-hmm.
You can go to haunted locations and you can see her dolls. You can see her artwork. You can. So you have a one of a kind art piece right here.
Okay.
You have a scare kid.
It'll scare kids. Yep. It'll
Scare kids.
It'll keep the kids out.
It's a scare kid.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Kid scares kids. Mm-hmm.
Yep. It'll scare.
Nice.
It'll keep them out of your office. You don't want them in there. Also, I mean, I don't know. Imagine. Yes, sir. Trigger objects. See, Austin's on it.
Ooh. Inside and outside the investigation.
As a perk, you get to scare the shit out of your friends or family. Yes, John Ward. So that's the final answer right there.
And if you are lonely, you have an imaginary friend at least.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that thing's definitely gonna attract something.
But for sure, the thing is, this is one of a kind. Terry takes old dolls and she rehabs them and she turns them into art. Yeah, it's kind of creepy, but it's freaking awesome. I don't care what it is. Yeah. I've been wanting a long gone doll it's ever since I met Terry. So, I don't know. You see them at the Monroe House. You see them at, where are all the locations? I need to get a list from Terry for all the locations that she has them.
You think she could do a custom one that looks like you, Sean?
She's done them before. I know she did one for Resident Undead, but that would be pretty cool to have my own doll.
I like that. We can do that.
That would be cool. We should get a Sean and a Brian. And then
the little BS. There you go. It'll be perfect. Long gone BS dolls. I like it.
I like it.
Good
idea. You can market it.
Yeah. Market it.
Right.
Yeah. We could take it on all the Scare Game Championships the Scare Game Championships. Oh, that too, I suppose. Yeah.
Branded the BS Long Gone Dolls.
Yeah. BS Long Gone Dolls, all the solo run challenges. Yeah.
Yeah.
We can really do
right.
Yeah, we do solo run challenges. We actually should come out some of your locations and do that because, man. So can we talk about the Middle Point School because there's this vault. I saw a picture of a vault in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
Why is there a vault in the basement of a school?
It's the basement door is a vault door. Like you go down the stairs and to go into the basement, you have to walk through this vault door.
Why is it a vault door?
I think because it used to be the boiler room. And so, and like the furnace was down there and everything. I think they had it just for like safety purposes. If it exploded, it wouldn't.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Oh no.
Okay. Uh-oh. We lost Austin.
Oh no.
He said, "Oh no," and he was gone. Like, that's alarming.
That long gone dog got him.
I think it's Barb.
She pissed. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, if somehow no one knew who Austin Maynard was, how would you describe him, Sean? I mean, how would you? Someone's just starting out the paranormal community. Like, who is this person? You know, how would you describe him?
Well, I'm gonna go read his bio, and then. No, I'm kidding. Man, Austin, he's a good, down to earth guy, man, and he loves the paranormal. He loves preserving history, and he throws a lot of events. So he's a really just well-rounded guy. He's really into ITC, so he's well-rounded in that area as well.
What's ITC stand for?
ITC is for the like hacked radios.
Yeah, like the spirit box hacked radios.
Yes. Mm-hmm. It's spirit boxes. So that's what they call those ITC devices. Yeah, so that's again not an area of my expertise. I'm more in, I don't know. Was it? I think it may have been Austin who got me to actually try it. It's really, really, man, when you get those intelligent responses and on the spirit box, it's really cool. One time, the John Ward, we did a Halloween investigation at Madison Seminary, and we were getting some up on the psych ward area.
Yeah.
We were getting some really good intelligent responses about Halloween and stuff. Okay. Oh, his laptop died. Uh-oh.
So I mean, first off, I mean, how many locations does he have? How did you meet him?
Well, he's got 6 locations.
He's got 6 locations,
which you can get in package deals. He's got a really kind of, and you know what is the amount that he charges for these investigations is not actually bad. You can get a package deal. You can get any 4 locations for $1,200. So basically, you do 1 location a night or multiple nights. So you do $100 a night. Hold on, I'm just reading the poster here. $100 a night, gift due upon booking, $200 max of 3 booked. So gift goes towards a total amount. Package deal. Oh, here we go. We'll let Austin explain it. He's back.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Am I echoing?
No, we're good. I was just trying to explain how your package deals work with your locations.
Well, okay, so basically the whole idea is that if you wanted to book more than 1 location, you don't have to pay $100 per night to be able to book 6 locations if you wanted. The deposit maxes out at $200. So like if you pay $200 down, that secures you up to 6 different nights. And basically the remaining cost is split up between those 6 different nights, depending upon the location. But those nights don't have to be back to back to back. They don't have to be consecutive. You could split it up like a month apart, 2 months apart. Basically, it secures you 6 locations. And the dates are very, very, very flexible because it's really convenient because if 1 location or 2 locations are booked on a date, we still have 4 other locations that are available that you can pick and choose from. Yeah. And it's really I try to make it convenient. I try to make it very almost it almost encourages people to go and see the other locations. It's how it all kind of works, you know. It's you pay $200, you can book 6 different locations, and you just see all of them. And each one, I think, once you go, I mean, the most that you would have to like put down when you actually go arrive at the location, you know, is, well, I guess the precinct would be 350, but like, you know, that's about the most. Is the 350 is the max that you have to put down, like when you arrive on location. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if it's $1,600, you pay the $200 up front. It's $1,400. That's split up between the 6 different locations, and you can spread out those nights.
Shoot, man, there's some locations that cost that much just for one night. So, I mean, and you're getting, and you know, it's one location. And here you have, if you were to do just one, then you're looking at, looks like the most expensive is the Detroit precinct, $450, which is still very reasonable.
Yeah, I mean, that's really the biggest thing about these locations, because they don't have the notoriety or the, you know, they're not the famous locations. They don't have all the tragic histories that everybody hears about on TV or knows about. You know, these are pretty much unknown places. Like, I just found them in the middle of nowhere. You know, my teammates found them, and we just are trying to we're trying to market these locations and bring out these histories that, I mean, really are mind-blowing in some senses, because like, there's a lot of things about the funeral home that I'm still finding out. There's a lot of things about Middle Point that we're still finding out. Like, the histories are more mysterious than anything, and they just keep revealing little secrets, little bits of it here and there, and it's been such an amazing ride. But I mean, man, it's yeah, we just try to get as many people out to these places as we possibly can, and that's how, you know what I mean? People are only going to come if it's reasonably priced, right?
Yeah.
Definitely. And I mean, they seem like, I mean, dude, schools, like, I don't know. I went to a school that had stories of a ghost, of having a haunting. I think that most schools, especially the older school buildings, have some sort of a story. And to go in and have the opportunity to investigate an old school building is just a really neat opportunity. I mean, think about just the energy that children have, that they bring in there, and the drama that they have, and then the act. And there's just so much. And so, but what makes, let's start with the again, going back to Middle Point, because we have that event, and I pulled up the wrong thing again. What makes the Middle Point school different?
Man, there's so much about Middle Point that is still very much a mystery. I think that, like you said, there's a lot of energy that had just kind of built up over the 100 and so many years of its operation. I mean, it really started out, surprisingly, the 1885 date on the Middle Point School is actually not even correct. And I recently found that out, because that's when they changed it to the Western Ohio Normal School. But originally it was some form of seminary, like convent even. Like, people report seeing nuns and stuff at this location. Yeah, like, and I mean, we actually have a picture of the 3-story building with a steeple when it was originally the 3-story building, but at some point they leveled off. I think it was in 1885 or right around that time, when they leveled, or they raised the 3rd story and kind of raised the bell tower, or the steeple, and just made it a bell tower and just the 1 level or the 2-story school. And it was the Western Ohio Normal School, which is basically a college for teachers. So, I mean, but in 1930 is when it became an elementary school, and they added on the back portion of it. And then, I mean, the only thing I could actually dig up about Middle Point's history, about the school's history, is, I mean, I can't dig up anything about the school in particular, but if I study about Middle Point in general, things that I find out are there were at least 3 different people that Middle Point Elementary that grew up and murdered somebody within like a 60-year period. Yeah. I don't know if that's a lot, but it feels like a lot to come out of this little ass village in the middle of freaking nowhere. You know what I mean?
I mean, I feel like that's a lot. I mean, I went to big schools in the suburbs, and I don't know personally of anyone that's like a murderer. That's like we're talking like thousands of kids, you know.
Well, like when I looked it up, I mean, one of the guys, his name is like Richard Moore, I believe. He like drowned, or he I don't know if it's him or if it was the other. There was one of these murderers that actually killed a girl, put her in the trunk of her car, and like put it in the quarry near Middle Point, and they found the car and the girl in the trunk. But this dude went to Middle Point School like in the 50s or the 60s. Okay. But like I have these articles, like I have them all. It's nuts. But you know, and then we could get into the.
Sounds like the whole town may have like some sort of dark past.
Yeah, there's a lot of drug use. Obviously, there's a lot of overdoses. I mean, it's a small town in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's kind of like I don't know if you guys remember the Higginsport School.
Yeah,
I don't.
Well, my team and I used to run that, and so like that area, Brown County, Ohio, is like one of the has the highest overdose rate in the state. Okay. Like overdose death rate is what. Mm-hmm. And Higginsport specifically has quite a bit of it, but when I think about Higginsport, it's really this like there's a village of like maybe 200 people. And there's nothing to do, and so there's drunk teenagers and these people, they just break into the school and do stupid stuff and whatever, and that's how a lot of that happened. But Middle Point, I feel like there's a dark cloud over the town itself. I mean, I think the people are great. There's a lot of really great people in Middle Point, but I think that there's some kind of cloud that hangs over the town and the village itself, kind of like a darkness that just it just seems to hang over. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's like the stuff you find in a movie,
Yeah, and I mean we don't even, and that's not even getting into the whole Corey Glossett situation. He's still missing, by the way. Those people. I mean, there's the crazy thing is that Corey lived right across the street from Middle Point School in the upper story of a duplex. Okay. And the number one suspect in the case lives across the field, still lives there, like just right next door to the school property. Like his yard meets the school's yard. Okay. And then on the other side, like behind the school, there was a guy that a lot of locals say was in cahoots with the number one suspect. And so it forms like this crazy perfect triangle around Middle Point School out of and we don't even know how the hell this happens. It's just so freaking convenient that this kid goes missing and he's still missing. They have no idea where he is. They dug up this dude's yard that lives right next door and they found nothing that could like tie him directly to anything, you know what I mean? So like he's still there. Like the other guy died, and so like his family has been cleaning out the estate and everything. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's just so much going on, but like there's so much mystery behind it. You know what I mean? There's so much like unrest in a sense. So I think that adds quite a bit to it.
Yeah. And small towns, they're really good at hiding, negative things. Small towns don't want people to say. Small town politics, man. It's a thing, man, and it's a pain in the ass to deal with. So my heart kind of goes out to you, man, because you probably deal with it about 6 times fold. And
Yeah, I mean,
I mean,
yeah.
you got these 6 locations, right? And so now I kind of what makes. Well, let me get this pulled back up here. Here we go. What makes the former Williams County Jail special?
Outside of the fact
Bryan,
that
Ohio.
I mean, we could talk about the fact that it's 162 years old, I think. 1869 was when it was built. And like 90% of the structure is still original. It's still there. The cells are still there. I mean, there's writing on the walls underneath layers of paint. I mean, why wouldn't it be, man?
Yeah.
I mean, 160 years of inmates. I mean, it closed in. Actually, I guess it's not 160 years technically because it closed in 2014, and really they moved the inmates out in like the 1990s. So 100 and something years. But there's a story in Bryan, okay, about the murder of Emily Abernathy. It's kind of the infamous murder in Bryan, and this librarian in 1949, I think 1947 or 1949. I can't remember which one. But she came from Tennessee and she was stabbed 27 times in the basement of the Bryan Library.
Ooh.
And when the guy who murdered her, his name was Jim Altman, or no, it wasn't Jim Altman, it was Jim Angle. Sorry. Jim Angle, he was booked at the Williams County Jail. And then he stayed there for about 30 days before he was transferred over to the Ohio Penitentiary for life in prison.
Wow.
Was that Ohio State? No, I'm kidding.
No, it's the Ohio Penitentiary in Columbus,
Okay.
not the Mansfield. I know. I was really freaking hoping when I saw it. No, but I mean, you can see writing on the walls in some of the separation cells. Basically, or protective custody cells, whatever. They had a couple of them, and when you peel back some of the layers of the paint, like you can see people that had written I help me God, I want my mommy, or I want my mother, I miss my kids, my wife, and stuff like that. Like you can see kind of like the emotions that they were pouring in as they were sitting in that jail cell thinking about everything that they did. You know what I mean? That kind of energy stays within the stone that's there, the stone tape theory, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that energy just kind of imprints in those. And I think that if you can somehow tap into that energy, kind of activate it in a sense, they will speak. They will come out and talk to you. It's just a matter of, I mean, there's just yeah.
Okay.
Like some people have had some crazy experience. I've seen things thrown in the Bryan jail. I've seen these doors that the pipe doors, like they're the little doors that like they open up so you can get to the piping and the heating system inside the cells, but they're like very 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 difficult to open and close. But like somehow we found this thing like had opened 90 degrees on its own when we were both upstairs, and we don't know how the hell it happened.
Wow.
Like there's a lot of stuff that goes on there.
I believe it, man. Dude, what happened to the granary? The granary in Bryan, Ohio. I heard some wicked shit about that place, man.
Yeah, the granary is a wicked place, man. But it's been undergoing renovations. I mean, this thing is it's really kind of dangerous inside that place anymore.
Okay.
I mean, he is fixing it. He's actually trying to turn it into a farmer's market for his girlfriend.
Oh, cool.
But he's getting the elevator working again. But right now there's a lot of construction stuff out there, and because it's really him and his private contractors that are doing it and not like a big construction company, it's like taking a really, really long time.
Yeah.
So it's frustrating to say the least, but it'll come back eventually. It's just
Hey, it takes time and money, man. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So here we kind of skipped over Westwood School in Rudolph, Ohio. What makes that school special?
Yeah, good question, man.
Uh,
I tell you, I can tell you, I really don't know very much. I don't.
Okay.
I know that it was built in 1914 as the Liberty High Elementary School. Some point in the 80s or the 70s or the 80s, I believe, it turned into Westwood High School. And then after that, it was consolidated with another school system or school district, and a new guy bought it, and I guess he ran a haunted attraction out of it for 13 years. And actually, my wife Colleen was a volunteer actor in the in that attraction. It was a really, really successful attraction. But I mean, I think about that kind of thing, and I mean, the terror, the fear that people when they go through this attraction,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what kind of fear, what kind of emotions are they getting? That release of the terror when they
Yeah.
actually feel it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
All of those props are still inside of the school in the basement.
Ooh. All right. All right. Have you been to Licking County Jail? You go in there and you investigate and you go into the basement. And they're at least there when I was there, they had this like electric chair guy prop there.
Oh,
You
yeah.
walk, and it's like, oh, it's cool to go into locations. And I think that's awesome because these historical locations need to be kept going.
Mm-hmm.
And to use it, why not do it as a haunted house?
Well-
And then it keeps the building active, it keeps people going in there, and then it attracts people like us.
Well, the thing about Westwood, though, that's really the biggest thing it's a mystery. There's something really dark there, and I don't even understand it. I don't think anybody really understands it. I mean, Paranormal Quest, Steve Hummel and their crew, Ryan, what's his name? I'm so sorry, man.
That's right. We just had Hummel on last week.
Yeah, so the Paranormal Quest crew,
Yeah.
they came out and did Westwood recently. The thing about Westwood is that we really don't know what the hell's going on. There's been multiple single car accidents at the intersection that resulted in death. There have been, like, the owner, his son-in-law is the guy I deal with, Tony, and Tony has actually had to call the sheriff's department at least 3 times in the last year because the person that does live in the trailer is kind of the caretaker of the property, like mows the lawn and everything.
Mm-hmm.
He has said that he's seeing somebody up in the window looking out, and it's happened 3 times, enough to where sheriffs will come out, search the building, find nobody. And, they're outside watching, making sure that nobody's leaving the place. But,
Oh yeah.
I mean, they've been up there hearing footsteps. It was turned into an apartment complex, like, shortly after they had to shut down the haunted attraction.
Mm-hmm.
And the haunted attraction was really shut down because the props they were using were not fire retardant. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
it was a fire code violation. So they really had to shut it down. Basically, they had it as an apartment building until December 2018, and those tenants were evicted all because of another fire code violation, which stemmed from the gymnasium being. Yeah, she was saying it was even an apartment building while the attraction was going on, but they were all evicted because a firewall was supposed to be between the gymnasium, where the owner stores a lot of his stuff, and the apartment complex. So it's like it just kind of pissed people off. But there were people that lived there that would even report paranormal activity. Like, there was a girl there. Her name was Kelsey, and she said that her daughter was talking to an entity called the Chalk Man that apparently drew itself out on the chalkboards that were all in all the apartments, like the original chalkboards.
Wow, dude, have you ever tried taking a piece of chalk, tying it to string, and then leaving it on in front of the chalkboard at one of these school locations? See if anything happens.
I haven't tried that. That's a good idea, though. I haven't tried that.
kind of came to me. Sorry.
That's a good idea, though. I mean, we have chalk in some of the rooms, and we actually allow, like, kind of like Ashmore Estates does, I think, where they allow teams to come and sign.
Oh yeah.
Post Town does that too, I think. But so like we have chalk in some of the rooms, and I don't know. It's hard to say if a ghost has written anything yet, but well, that's a good idea. So I'm gonna try that.
I mean, if they can move a door, they can move a piece of chalk.
That's a good
That's
point.
true.
That's a good point. Especially if they have it hanging for them. It's
Yeah.
like it's already suspended. You don't even have to lift it.
Exactly.
But I mean, yeah, I mean, it's a lot of it's just a mysterious dark energy in this place, and especially in the basement. There's something down there, man. It's made people sick. Like, people get attacked. People have gotten scratched. People have had to leave. Joseph Warner from Devil Vision Media, actually, he's been there a number of times, and every time he's been there, he's been attacked.
Cool.
And the most recent time was he did a solo session up on the second floor on the north side, and actually had to leave. He came down with all of his stuff and just was like, "Dude, I'm done. I can't do it anymore."
Right. Wow. Okay.
It's kind of a mystery.
So just now, what about the Broadwell Funeral Home, and that's in Felicity, Ohio? Dude, you have all of Western Ohio covered, all the way down from Cincinnati all the way up to Detroit. All right, we're going to talk about that here. So tell us about this funeral home in Felicity, Ohio.
Man, that's a cool place. I like that place, man. It was well, it was built in 1912. Sorry, right? 1910. 1910 it was built. A dude by the name of Christopher Broadwell, and it was built as a funeral home, but it was not the original Broadwell Funeral Home. It was the second one. His dad owned the original, but he branched off on his own to build this one.
Okay.
So it starts off right away. I mean, obviously they did embalming and everything there. So like they still in the basement, they still have the embalming, like the floor is slanted and it has a little like drain where all the blood would drain. And actually, funny story, the owner has the owner just I was just talking to the owner the other day. He actually had to completely replace the piping in the basement because there was so much dried blood in the pipes.
Ooh.
And it wouldn't flush. Like the toilet wouldn't flush. Like he just did this like a week ago.
Dried blood, probably some little chunks of bone and hair and other sorts of nasty bodily fluids in there. Wow. And all of that contains a piece of somebody. Wow.
A number of pieces of somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So on top of that, now we also now Christopher Broadwell had 3 children. He had 2 daughters and a son.
Mm-hmm.
The son I think was the oldest, and the second daughter, the middle daughter. Both of those kids have full extensive records of their lives. Like you can find out from their birth certificate to their death certificate and everything, like where they moved to, how many kids they had, all that stuff. But they had a third daughter, Rosalie. They have a birth record of her. They have her birth certificate, but they don't have a death record. They have nothing after that. So that makes you question things, right?
Oh yeah.
So funny story. The owner of the funeral home. When he bought the place, him and his wife bought it to move into it.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently the neighbors would come up to him and say, "Oh, we see your little girl in the window. How many kids do you have?" And it's the attic window, by the way. And he's looking at him like, "We don't have any grandkids. We don't have kids." So that started begging the question, was Rosalie a disappointment?
Mm-hmm.
Was she kept in the disappointments room? Was she locked up in the attic during the funerals? Mm-hmm. And we started poking and prodding at that a little bit when we were doing our own investigations. And turns out there's something there that really does not like when people talk about Rosalie. It's like, you don't talk about her, you don't mention her name, and like some of the stuff that we've gotten, man, it's like we get the word evil come through the box. And this weird thing is that there's this entity that likes to call itself One. And I don't know what that means, but apparently this thing is very, very dark. I don't know if it's necessarily evil, but it loves the funeral home in the basement, and I don't know, man. Like, there's people have been attacked. People have been like, even my partner Mike Ring. He usually, I mean, he can deal with a lot, but man, like there have been times where even he's had to leave because like he just can't take the physical pain anymore, or he was getting nauseous one time. I think he said even one time he had to leave because he was vomiting. He had to go out and vomit because it's just so bad in the basement. They bruise him up. Like people have, it's just nuts, man. Like every place we had, people get attacked. I don't understand it, but if you want evidence, that's what it is, right?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it depends like what you're doing for that evidence, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
do you think that, too. I mean, are people going in and provoking, or is it something that's?
I don't know. See, I'm a skeptic about all of that stuff. Like, I think people will hear and see what they want to believe, or like they will hear and see what they want to hear and see.
Mm-hmm.
They want to go into a location and find activity, they're going to find it. If they don't, if they are completely blocked off to it, they're not going to hear anything. They're not going to see anything. However, I mean, there's some things I can't argue with, like Brad Ferris and J.S. Robinson. I don't know if you guys know them they're from Indianapolis. Okay. But they actually captured like full shadow masses, like blocking out chairs in the hallway of Middle Point School.
Whoa.
Like they've actually captured a camera that was on a tripod getting knocked off of the tripod and hanging from the tripod, like on camera. They've sent me these videos, and I know I have the shadow. I definitely have it blocking out chairs, man. It's crazy. But like people go in the basement, they say they can't breathe. They feel like something's grabbing onto their chest, like really, really hard. And there's a lot of mystery there too. I mean, it's. I think that there's a lot that could be going on, and I think that there is a lot really going on. But what is really happening, I don't know. But people will experience all kinds of crazy shit. You know?
Definitely. And I mean, man, if somebody was to say, hey, I want to own a haunted location, or hey, I want to run a haunted location, how does somebody find one? I mean, they seem to be drawn to you, or maybe you're drawn to them. How do you find these locations that you're able to go? I mean, you're literally up and down Ohio, I should say, Western Ohio, and up into Michigan. I mean, it's impressive to say the least, man. I mean, and it's probably a ton of work. But if someone were to say, hey, you know what? I want to run a haunted location, whether if it's owning it or kind of running it the way that you do, what would your first advice be to them?
Have all your ducks in a row, meaning you need insurance, like general liability insurance that is like specifically for certain, like there's a lot of, I mean, even Adam Kimmel will tell you there's a lot that goes into owning these abandoned, dilapidated buildings. I mean, keeping the place from falling apart is probably the hardest part because it's constant maintenance. And unless you go in and you really like revamp the place like Adam has done for Madison and Fairfield, I mean, the amount of work that he's put into those locations has really kind of inspired me to do what I do. Yeah. And so like, I kind of get it, a lot of that from him, really. And
it's awesome.
But it's like these locations, man, I don't know. You gotta notice that there is history in every town, every building, every place like has energy. it's everywhere. Like, I think a lot of it is people being so close-minded to what a haunting entails and like what goes into a specific haunting.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that there needs to be a tragic death at every single location for there to be energy or spirits there. You know what I mean? Like, I don't necessarily believe that there is a single person that died inside of Middle Point School. I don't believe it, not even a little bit. But I think that it's become a community center for spirits in Middle Point that continue to see the doorway being open and shut in the darkness, like us calling out to them, asking, reaching out. I mean, that's opening a doorway, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You are. Definitely, man. And you know what? That's why I tell when I have clients that are having stuff going on their own, one of the first things I tell them is don't investigate yourself. Don't try and get EVPs. Don't do that yourself, because you're opening that door. You're bringing more stuff in, and who knows what or who you will invite by doing that. People worry about inviting things in by watching something on TV, whether it's a movie or a show or something. Honestly, you have more to worry about by picking up that digital recorder and asking for that communication. As soon as you ask for that communication in your home, you could be inviting something in. There could be spirits walking up and down your street. You could be, I don't know, maybe a spirit decided to follow you from freaking Walmart. Who knows? The next thing you know, it's like, oh, hey, this guy wants to talk to us, and you have a hotbed. So it's definitely. I mean, I could see people going into this school. You know, people like you and I going in there, investigating, asking for communication. So I'm sure spirits get lonely, you know, and why not? I mean, go to where people want to talk to you. And where people aren't going to act as afraid. And if they do, I'm sure it's pretty freaking hilarious when some of us get scared in these.
Well, the thing I feel like is a lot of these, I mean, the spirits seem to have some kind of message they want to get across, something that is keeping them supposedly bound to the earth, right? Or in, you know, whatever, in limbo. But I think that when you go to a location long enough and you start calling out to them enough times, eventually they're going to stick around. They're going to say, oh, you know, they might listen to what I have to say. They might be able to help me. They might see me or hear me, you know. And I don't know. I mean, just thinking logically, like if I was dead and I didn't know what the hell to do, I'd probably start somewhere like that, right? I mean,
yeah.
I would go where people will talk to me for sure.
Exactly.
You're trying to figure out your space. You're trying to figure things out. I'm sure if you're a spirit that's stuck in our world for some reason, you're. I mean, I could only imagine what that's like. Like like sometimes, like I imagine like someone literally right here in your face trying to talk to you. Like being an empath, like I can almost like feel that sometimes. It's someone's trying to talk to you, but you can't hear or see them. So it's like, imagine how frustrating. I mean, I have 3 kids, man. Like it's like that, but worse.
I guarantee the youngest child or the middle child probably feels that way a lot.
Probably.
Like they're just not being heard, and that's just like, what do they call it? Middle child syndrome, right?
Yeah.
Like
Oh no,
where you
my
just
middle
feel
child,
like-
he makes himself heard. I'll tell you what.
No, it's probably because he feels that way. Sometimes.
You might be right. You
I'm gonna
might be
make
on.
sure I'm heard.
He definitely demands the attention. The youngest in the middle demand the attention. So,
but I mean, you know, sometimes you're just sitting there, you're asking questions, and you know, you just want to ask the questions. You know, you sit there, and that's all you can do.
Yep.
You know, hey Austin, and then you know, you just get a response like.
It says in my new book,
The doors kept opening.
you should trust your instincts.
Go for it.
This is crazy, isn't it?
All right, welcome, Austin. This is the part of the podcast called the Into the Abyss section, where we're going to ask you 13 fast-fire questions. Answer them as quickly and as thoroughly as possible.
Okay. Do I have a time limit or something?
No, it just says as quickly and as thoroughly as possible. All right.
Let's do it.
Okay.
All eyes on you, brother.
Oh, there you go.
Man, Brian, dude, I love how you always like want to make it like a surprise. You like lead into it. It's like
Yeah,
boom.
yeah.
And people
I
are like,
wasn't
what the
expecting it.
fuck
I'll
is
be
going on right now?
Yeah. And we're all gonna get T-shirts of "All Eyes on You" with Sean. So it'll there you go, a little Chucky. That's
Chucky.
Chucky Finster.
all right. I'll I'll say number 1 and number 13 as a reference. All right, you ready, my friend?
Let's do it.
All right, number 1, your greatest challenge in the paranormal field.
Ooh, definitely opening people's minds to how little they know.
Hmm.
I mean, everybody thinks they have the same. It's a mass belief system that I think many people are stuck in, and it's like there's so much more going on. I think.
Yeah. What's the inspiration behind owning a haunted location?
Well, I don't own any of the haunted locations, but the inspiration behind managing them is basically my dad has been a big history buff. I've seen my entire life, and that kind of like gave me a passion for history. But I just took a different spin with it, and I really found something I was interested in.
Okay. How would you describe unrest in a small town?
I would say secrets and things basically things that are not told or that are hidden.
Mm.
Ooh, I experienced that growing up. Whew.
What's your go-to idea to help breathe positivity into a private residence after an investigation?
Ooh, I don't do private anymore, strictly because I feel like I'm not really open to stuff and leaving with us. So I guess I'll have to pass on that one. Sorry.
Get some fresh flowers. I got you covered, Austin. All right.
Open a window.
Open a window. Do something, man.
Oh, it's cool, man. That was a good question. If you had, go ahead, bro.
Yeah. I'm just honest, I don't.
No, it's good. It's good to be honest. That's what it's all about, man.
Yeah, Austin's all about that Febreze. I got you, man.
Just air it out. We'll be good.
Yeah. Oh, just like Sean said, open a window. What's the best way to research a location that you're going to investigate?
Go into the investigation blind and research afterwards. Try to match up what you found instead of going into it with a biased mindset. Because when you go into it looking for something, you're going to miss a lot of other things that may be happening.
All right, let's go. If you could design a long gone doll, what would it look like?
That's a good question. Probably.
And you can't say Sean. I'm sorry. All right. Oh,
Chucky.
Oh yeah, long gone Chucky. Okay, and they think it's going to be the other Chucky,
but not the other Chucky.
Yeah.
No, Chucky Finster. It has to be Chucky Finster.
No one's going to see that coming. Yeah. Oh, we like that. All right. Trademark that quick. All right. Why manage multiple locations?
Ooh. Honestly, I just have a drive that I feel like there's so much that needs to be exposed that people just don't seem to be seeing. And I think a lot of times the best way to do it is to shove it in their face somehow, some way, whatever you got to do. Yeah. That means I got to pay a bunch of celebrities to come out and turn a bunch of heads, and that's what I got to do. But I got everybody looking over at that location and that location, and it's just like a network where now people can literally experience all of these locations in one place with a $200 down payment. Like, it's so convenient. It's like, why not do multiple locations. I know.
All right. So now you've got a first time investigator. They just put together a few people. They come to you and they say, Austin, what's one tip you can give us because we're just starting out in the paranormal field?
I would say be open-minded, but remain skeptical. Remain logical. Don't ever take anything at face value. Everything has to be taken with a grain of salt because we truly don't know what's going on. There's no definitive answers to anything. We're all guessing, and a lot of people don't like that or even like to hear that, but like really that is the case. And if you close yourself off to ideas, then you are limiting the possibilities.
Okay. Now, where does someone start when building their own spirit box?
Talk to one of the OGs, man. Talk to guys like Steve Hultay. Talk to Jay Prather. Talk to, I really, there's a lot of documents online. I know Steve Hultay has a website where he actually has PDF files that show you like what kits to buy, like how to build it, how to connect it to a radio. And then, there's a lot of forums. I mean, really, it's a lot of it is figuring out how the circuitry. If you got to learn circuitry before you can do anything. And I mean, really, I'm still figuring out circuitry. But if I would have known more before I started, then this would be a lot easier. And I would have not spent so much money on boards and stuff that I was doing. So.
Okay. Now, I don't know if you could hear it, Austin, but Sean is whipping out the Gilmore wallet. Here comes number 7 or, number 8, But those are just the ones you manage, okay? This is going to be a location that you're going to own, okay? Because Sean is going to write you a check. You're going to own whatever haunted location you want. What location do you want Sean to buy you?
As long as it's no more than $5, we're good to go.
Anywhere in the world?
Yeah, anywhere in the world. I mean, come on, Sean's wallet's pretty huge.
Yeah.
Either Loftus Hall in Ireland or Poveglia Island in Italy.
Ooh.
All right, now Sean's not buying 2. You got to choose one. What would it be and why?
I'll buy one for myself.
Poveglia.
Why?
I have both those locations. Oh, man, I need to win that Ohio COVID.
I mean, they say the smaller portion of the island is literally made from human ash.
Yeah.
Like that's what the story is.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of it is true, but it was an insane asylum. It was a tuberculosis hospital. It was the epicenter for where you would go to die if you had the Black Plague.
Yeah.
The Black Death, the bubonic plague, right? Yeah.
Oh.
Like it's been burning bodies since 1600, man. It's just nuts.
Okay.
I agree. I want to go there.
Well, you heard it first. Sean's buying you that location once he gets that vaccine, $1 million or whatever.
Yeah, I need to get the Ohio vaccine so I can buy both those places.
It's probably one more than that.
I forgot to sign up for that. Thank you for reminding me.
Do you have to sign up?
Yeah, you got to sign up.
You got to enter the drawing. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know how you do that, but okay.
There's a link, man.
There's a link. I don't know.
Right. Let me ask you some more questions while I 100% pay attention to you. How does one upkeep a location that's been around for 170 years?
How does one upkeep?
Yeah, I mean, you've been managing for a while.
A lot of help. A lot of pushing brooms and throwing away fallen ceiling tiles and wearing a mask and gloves and getting dirty and dusty and sweaty. And I mean, it's a lot of labor and a lot of time just to go and do it again 2 months later at the same place because it's just constant.
Wow. All right. So, speaking of that, I mean, how do you market a haunted location?
How do you market a haunted location? Well, I would say the best way to do that is to provide some kind of backup. Like, you got to be able to back up what you're saying. I mean, you can't just you could point to history, and if you never go there, you don't have any kind of video proof. You don't got any kind of reason for people to believe that it's haunted other than you just posting about it online. I mean, somebody's got to go there eventually. I mean, that's got to happen one way or another.
Okay. I mean, it makes sense. But number 13, what's one message you want to tell your paranormal community?
Lord. Okay. We know nothing. Nothing. The fact of the matter is, everything that we do, everything that we use, all the devices are all based on theories. It's all theories. It's all custom built gadgets to test these theories.
Yep.
And most of the time, those gadgets aren't even meant to test these theories. We're just assuming that they work with these theories. But the thing is, I don't think there's anybody that is right or wrong in this paranormal field. There's nobody that is better than the others. There's nobody that knows more than anybody else either. It's like we can either have more questions or, I mean, that really, like, that's it. It's like years of experience mean nothing at the end of the day because you still know exactly the same amount that I do.
Yep.
And it's all about diving deeper and deeper and deeper into the mystery. And I feel like everybody needs to dive into the, they need to dive into ITC. They need to dive into frequencies. I think frequencies is where everything is at. Everything in this universe vibrates. It has some kind of frequency, or light, sound, whatever. If we can tap into these right frequencies, maybe that's where we need to be looking. Just finding out where these frequencies are at. Can I tap into the frequency that George Washington is floating on? I don't know. But we'll never know if we don't start looking into it, but nobody's doing that. So collectively, we need to unite, and not para-unity. I don't like that term. I think it's a clique. We got to have just together. We just got to be together and work together, man.
See, that to me is what para-unity is, man. It's all about para-unity is not the clique. It's about everyone. I think that people just for some reason.
Yeah, the idea is great. The movement itself has too many flaws, I think. But the idea of para-unity, the concept is it needs to happen. But it's the problem is the people within the community that a lot of them can't seem to get along, and that's where I think we're stuck as a field.
I think that there's a lot of people that are stuck with the wrong ideas in the field too. So I can't argue that point at all, man. I mean, it's like we should, like you said, it's about if we could all come together with our ideas. Like there's an investigator that would talk about frequencies, but he wasn't talking about frequencies with ITC. He was talking about frequencies with EVPs. What is the best frequency to capture the EVP on? Is it just the digital recorder, right? Because there's different frequencies. If you get the right digital recorder, you get the right microphone, you can adjust those frequencies.
But you know that EVPs are ITC, right?
Yes.
Instrumental transcommunication. It's literally anything that uses audio, video, any kind of call and response system as a device is an ITC device, technically.
I can see it. And there it is, Brian. Brian asked earlier when you lost connection what ITC stood for. I always forget, honestly.
Instrumental transcommunication.
Yeah. See, I've just kind of started to get into the ITC. I mean, I've always liked the I've always liked the EVPs and stuff like that. I never got into the ITC devices, the spirit boxes, the hack radios. I had a couple of hack radios, and I don't know. It's just not. But but like you said, Austin, it's about going and expanding further to learn. Like, what is it about it when you get that that intelligent response when there's no radio frequency? That's what got me, dude, and that's what got me curious about it. I was in a town in the middle of Arizona, and I got Get Out clear as day on a hacked radio, and it was just it was insane because there's no radio frequency. There's no way that came from the radio, and that's what got me curious. It's like, okay, maybe there is something to this. Maybe I do need to do more research. And my problem though is that I have a weakness for trigger objects, so I keep on going and buying things like this guy and like this here. Because I have a thing for trigger objects and detecting spirit because I can't see it. So that's my thing. It's like, how do I know that you're there? How do I? And also with being an empath, I want to validate what I'm feeling. So that's more the ray of the research that I've kind of gone for, is more of that. Like, is there a spirit over in that corner? Because I feel it there. Like, how can I validate that? And that's more but now, as I've been doing this for years and years, and of course, everyone loves that Class A EVP. You can't, I mean, that's, so it's, I don't know, but like the ITC, that's been a new thing. I need a good ITC device. And that's before the show, I was telling you, I need to get something that's like that's past this hacked radio that I have, so that I can really dive deeper into the what these ITC devices can do. And because it's really is, once you get that, I mean, there's people they use to connect. And my theory on that is, you know what, the Connect is designed, it's made to create a human figure, so it can detect a bug and turn it into a stick figure
if it's in the right shape. Yeah,
I mean,
like water heaters, refrigerators.
Yeah,
I mean, anything in the general shape and size of a human being, it will map out as a stick figure. And then, like, even if you're like looking at a doorway, 2 walls on the sides will map out as stick figures. It's I don't know. There's a lot to that kind of stuff. I think with ITC, really, with ghost boxes, I mean, what you were talking about, like with validation, like one of the things that you could look into is the direct link device that Jay Prather builds, IDC Devices. Like, that's literally the one where you actually, even Brian Bond is waiting on his direct link. Basically, that one, you have to make physical contact with the antenna jack in order for the radio to get anything. And he does his very, very best to actually completely eliminate radio. And then it's also randomly sweeping over, I think he's up to like 9,000 frequencies. It's like insane. But what he does is he actually programs the coding in it so that instead of doing like 87.5, 87.7, 87.9, instead of just doing those, he'll actually have it 87.5, 87.51, 87.52, 87.53, and he'll just do that. And it's just jumping all around the place. It's not going to have 2 consecutive stations that are actually consecutive. So when you start having this one voice start coming through, like in a short period of time, and it says it's something incredibly relevant, but only when you're touching it on the back. I mean, that's pretty incredible in my mind, and especially like I have like Brandy Marie. She is a psychic medium that I work with very frequently, and she loves using the direct link because, I mean, she's very, I mean, it's really, I've seen her talk to the same damn person for like 10 minutes on this direct link, and nobody else comes to. Just one person. It's like these things are scanning so fast, that many frequencies. There's no way that this one guy would just continuously just keep coming through and through and through and through and through. You know what I mean?
How much are they?
Yeah.
The direct links, man, if you can even get them to build them, I mean, it depends on the model. It depends on the style. Like,
Yeah.
he's got 3 different kinds anymore. I mean, I know they range in price. Like, I think the one that has all the like the controls and everything, and I think he's even adding a microphone to it, is going to be like closer to $500. But the 2.0s are, I think, are only like 200, 250, depending on what style they are and what the kind of the stuff that he does to it. I mean, but that's just one of the many things. I mean, you could even get into the things that KD Stafford does, you know, with the nanocoms and the well, he's going away from the nanocoms and switching over to the mini ink boxes and the and a new one too. But even the mini ink boxes have a custom sweep circuit, a function generator circuit that he built. And it kind of just, it has 9 total bands. It's got AM, FM, and then 7 shortwave bands that it stretches out. This thing's got a flashlight on it. This thing is portable. It's got, I mean, there's so many different, like, nobody's really been playing around with the shortwave frequencies until recently.
Mm-hmm.
And like, the shortwave is really, really interesting because technically that's like, I'm pretty sure that's like Citizen Band, like the dude in his basement broadcasting the conspiracy theory radio. Like, that's shortwave, but at nighttime, the ionosphere makes it so that shortwave can travel like really far. So like, you'll start picking up, like, I'll start picking up stuff from Mexico sometimes. You know, I start picking up, but like, when you actually start sweeping these stations like really fast, you know, I mean, honestly, like, even with the AM band, I prefer a very, very fast sweep. AM, FM, like, extremely fast. Like, the SB7 is not nearly fast enough.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even want a full word to come through from one station. Like, I'm listening to the entire band for a sentence is what I'm listening for. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's a whole different style of ghost box or of spirit box use, because you're not listening for just 1, 2, 3 words, you know, or even just one word responses. Like, I'm hearing an accent over the entire band. Like, when I even did a video on this recently. I was at the 6th precinct using my the Steve's box. It's an RCA. It's an old RCA super radio that he converted. And I mean, this thing, I had it sweeping the AM band, and I mean, you couldn't hear a full word come through a station, but when you had it sweeping and just all the jumbled and the scattered, what do you call it? All those bursts of the radio that are just coming through. You'll hear it sweep the whole band and then restart. And sweep the whole band and restart. So you have this window of time where they can respond. And I'm hearing sentences like, I mean, it's all in the video, and you can hear this dude have an accent and actually like almost you can feel the emotion he's telling. It's like an insane conversation. And I mean, there's something about that. I mean, you can't get with a hacked radio. You can't get with these boxes that have these loud static or the linear, like the really limited speed, linear sweeps. And I don't know. There's so much about ITC that I explored, really, like, so much. And I don't even feel like people realize it either. People are starting.
No, you know what? I don't think that the average person knows. I think that people, they get the SB7 or get that forgot what the newer one is called that they're selling on Ghost Stop now. Where it's that red. Yes, that's one, the S box. I don't think that, honestly. I mean, there's a lot that I have to learn on this, and it's because it's not really what's big right now, and it's last time he said that, he went away.
You there?
You were here. You're frozen, but we can. Oh, no, he's gone.
He's gone.
Poof. He's back.
Sorry.
There he is. No problem, man. Trust me. Yeah, these things happen. So, what let's say you're in a location. Let's say you're at a private business, hasn't been investigated yet, right? You're using an ITC device. How do you teach spirit to communicate through that, even through the 10K frequencies, or even just a hacked radio that I don't even know how you account the frequencies on that?
I think really it's a lot of it is just time. And I think, you ever see the movie Ghost with Patrick Swayze?
Yes, Brian, have you seen the movie Ghost?
Demi Moore.
With like Will Smith and Click?
What? No, what?
What?
Dude, they make the pottery together and they're all like sensual.
Whoopi
Like,
Goldberg?
Yeah, isn't it like The Notebook or something? They write their like love story in The Notebook
no,
when they were on
He's-
Titanic or something.
no. See, he's like he doesn't know.
Well,
He's Gen.
anyways.
Are you at Gen?
I'm a millennial, all right.
You're
I'm
a
not Gen
millennial.
Z. You don't have to.
What year were you born?
94.
I'm 91. I'm 91. I'm a millennial.
Oh, see,
too,
both
so
you guys are
actually-
young. All right.
Yeah.
I'm a Gen
anyways,
X, so I mean, okay.
You
Then.
grew up in a rougher time, an easier time.
I don't know if it's rougher. I kind of feel like it was easier. I think all this technology has made things harder. So
Yeah.
me personally, I'd rather grow up playing outside, and all I care about is playing with the neighborhood kids, and then having to deal with all this other crap that comes on freaking TikTok and all that other bull crap.
To be fair, I
I'd
don't
like-
own TikTok, and Sean's life has been consumed by TikTok.
My life is not consumed by TikTok. I make a couple TikToks a month, and that's it. And I try to support, there's people that literally, just like us, just like YouTubers, they're trying to make a living. So we got to go and support some of them. Some of them are really funny. Some of them are really dumb. But I mean, it is what it is. But me, I just make a couple TikToks a month. And but the thing is that all of that puts together, you get the internet, and you have a lot of pressure that comes from people to be a certain form. Like there's always been that, right? There's always been those models. There's always been those movie stars. But now it's just more intensified. And it's just, I couldn't imagine being a kid nowadays. That would suck. That would really suck. And well, I mean, I don't know. I'd rather not have the technology. I'd rather not have a phone. I was the last one of my friends to have a cell phone.
I was too, actually.
I had a pager. I did not have a cell phone. I had my pager, and I was like, yeah, I'm good with my pager, and I'll call somebody when I get a chance to call them. I got my page. And then I was living in Arizona at the time, and my friend collected VW buses, and we were driving her VW bus, and it started making this knocking sound. So she picks up her big ass Nokia phone, boop boop boop, calls her mechanic. Hey, listen to this noise. Puts it on speakerphone. What is this? And he's like, oh, that doesn't sound good. And they scheduled an appointment right there for her to bring her car in. I was like, okay, now that's convenience. I see why people like these cell phones now. And so I went from playing Snake on my Nokia phone to freaking, now I can't get my face out of my freaking Samsung S21. I mean, what the frick?
Getting back to the Patrick Swayze movie.
Sorry. Yeah, rabbit holes, man. I'm bad at those.
Nah, you're good. So, I think that figuring out technology, figuring out anything in our physical world is probably like a lot like the movie Ghost. Like you got to try to like in the movie, there's that scene where he's in the subway, and he's got to try to kick the can, right? The other dude has figured out how to do it, but he tries to kick it. His foot just keeps going right through it. Eventually, he figures out how to do it, and I think a lot of that is just a matter of. I don't know. I think it could be a matter of how intelligent this specific spirit was in life. I think I think it would vary depending on spirit in person. I mean, some people are more tech savvy than others. Some people can figure things out a little quicker.
Yep.
I think it could just be a matter of explanation or whatever. I mean, we don't know.
Yeah.
a lot of possibilities. But you gotta try all kinds of different things, because I mean, everything that we've done so far, I mean, for the past 10 years, we've been kind of stagnant when it comes to mainstream technology, I guess, and evidence being presented in general. I mean, another documentary, another video clip, another audio clip. I mean, where have we gotten as far as like advancement in our understanding, or actually like recognition, instead of it being pseudoscience and turning it into science? Like, we are exactly the same place that we were probably even like 30 years ago. I mean, what's improved? The video?
Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, there's just more of the documentaries. There's just more of the same, right? So that's the question though. What do you do with the paranormal and the supernatural to actually create real evidence of the existence of spirit? What's the next step, man?
You experiment.
Yep.
You do things that people are not doing. You do everything that nobody's doing. Like, you know, even at the Madison Seminary when you and I went, Sean, the REM pod thing that I had set up where I connected a bunch of them with copper wire.
Yeah.
I mean, really, like, that just amplified that whole area with a REM pod field. And I mean, you saw how sensitive that thing was. I mean, it's just like, even ideas like that, like, who would have thought to just take wire and just clip the antennas of REM pods together and just line them up down a hallway? Who would have thought about that?
Yeah, that's a great idea, and you're definitely right. But so
this is one of many things. I mean, the possibilities are infinite. Like, really, like, there's so many different things that people can do and twist them around. I mean, there was something you were talking about a little bit earlier, right? There was a device that you were like saying that they should do. I can't remember what you were saying. It was like earlier on in the show, though.
Oh man, my brain is freaking Swiss cheese from this week.
Well, okay. For instance, here's something. Like I've been advertising for a guy, Robert, who owns Ghost Gear. They're doing this thing called the REM puck, which is a little different than the REM pod. And the cool thing I like, the cool thing about the REM puck, I mean, there's a number of cool things about it, really. But it's motion. It's got a proximity sensor that's not based on the therapeutic, which is all REM pods really are. However, it uses I can't remember what exactly he said. It uses like a microwave, like Doppler radar kind of system that'll detect the proximity versus. So it actually has the ability to expand about 7 feet in any direction. So imagine a REM pod that could detect you from 7 feet away. And also pick up motion from like 30 feet away.
That's cool.
That is
really and play cool. A different tone for each one, so you know which one. And then on top of that, it's actually adjustable to where you can set the ranges however far you want. So like it'll go up to a 14-foot diameter, like so big circle around the thing. Or you could set it down to, you know, a few inches or a foot, like normal most REM pods are. But I say, well, if you had like 5 of these things and you just lined them up like within like just over the 7-foot barrier, and you had them all maxed out, like where the fields overlap each other. I mean, you could line these things up down a hallway, and literally, like, there'd be nothing that could walk through that thing without setting them off. Not a damn thing. And so, like, I think about coverage. I think about tapping into things that people wouldn't know. Anybody play guitar? Do either of you play guitar?
I mean, I could play expert on Rock Band.
You know those. Okay, but you know what? You guys know what a contact mic is, right?
Yes, I do. I'm horrible with music abilities, but I have a lot of friends that play instruments, so I am very familiar with a lot of the equipment they use.
So, have you ever thought about attaching a contact mic to the walls of a location.
I have not thought of that.
Do that for an EVP kind of session. Like instead of just like let the recorder run on the contact mic that's attached to different areas, that's attached to different walls, different floors, even if you wanted to. I mean, you'd be able to pick up the vibrations, but I mean, what if the walls could literally talk to us?
That's crazy, yeah. I never thought of that.
You know, the whole, a lot of people are using these Tesla coil speakers, right?
Yeah.
Low spinning plasma, plays music or whatever you want out of it. A lot of people are using it for ghost boxes now. As I up that, use it on like a Jacob's ladder type of scale. So like you're not only like the one at Randolph County Infirmary, right? That big Jacob's, like 3 foot like Jacob's ladder.
Yeah.
Now imagine adding the audio driver to that and being able to play a ghost box or be able to play something out of that plasma that's just like 50,000 volts of electricity being put out into the air. And also that energy source being the audio source that they can speak through.
Yeah.
Like, what more do they need, right? Like,
I mean,
all the energy in the world, and here's an audio source for you. Like, in theory, it should be easy, but
yeah, so you're kind of giving them all the tools and kind of saying, look, all these mainstream things, they're kind of overrated, and maybe we should be focusing on things that we really haven't done.
Yes. Really.
And that's why, Austin, we have this section, Paranormal Over Under, where you have 2 minutes. You're on the clock. Sean's got the clock ready. You've got 2 minutes. No, it's okay, Sean. We're good, though. But you've got 2 minutes. I'm going to give you 10 topics, and I need you, real quick, you need to tell us if it's overrated, underrated, or properly rated, in a 1-sentence response. Why? Okay? Because you've been talking. I mean, you just been bragging. Okay? A lot of the different techniques, they're overused, they're overrated. We need to be doing some lesser known techniques. We need to experiment. So we're here. You're the man. Paranormal topics. There's 10 of them. You just need to let us know if they're underrated, overrated, or properly rated in 1 sentence. Why? You got 2 minutes on the clock. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. Oh, restarted. I'm sorry.
Oh, come on.
I'm sorry, Sean. All right.
Okay. First of all, I have to say I wasn't ready. I mean, I was on the Ghost Gear Tech website trying to get a picture of the puck. And then the next thing I know, overrated. I'm like, oh man, okay, I wasn't ready. You got me surprised on that. All right.
Let me know
when to start that. Oh crap. Hold on.
It's because it's not Apple, but that's okay.
No,
all right.
All
right, go ahead. Number 1, trigger objects.
Perfectly rated.
And a response.
I think because we really don't know, and these items may be familiar and have energy. So, I mean, why not?
Haunted nuns.
Ooh. Underrated. I don't think they've been explored enough.
SB7s.
Overrated because it's linear sweeping. It's a linear step sweep. It only goes forward or backwards. The stations can bleed into other channels. It sounds like there's too many things that can be debunked.
Managing a haunted location.
Very underrated. It's a lot of work that people don't see.
Long gone dolls.
Underrated. I think they are very, very unique. Each one is a piece of art.
Investigation package deals.
Underrated. They need to be more locations need to work together to share the exposure.
REM pods.
Overrated a little bit. I think there's a lot more that could be explored in the field of REM, but yeah.
Vault doors.
Perfectly rated. They do exactly what they're supposed to do.
Unrest in a small town.
That's underrated. There's so many. many that are just unrecognized. Like it's so common anymore.
And lastly, building your own equipment.
Very, very underrated. But I mean, the work that goes into it is just unbelievable. You wouldn't expect it unless you actually did it. And it's just crazy.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was over under. Austin
It's just
Maynard.
perfect timing, man.
It
I like that
is.
picture you guys used too. Like that was like
Thank you.
2014?
Yeah, it might have been 13. Who knows?
Right? So,
My Lord.
right?
I conjure up all the questions and I put together this picture mid podcast every time. Like I'm sitting here. Oh, I mean, obviously, who would have known we were talking about vault doors and everything? And my favorite part is once all the questions are done, I like low key search your Facebook. And I'm like, all right, which picture?
It goes way back to my Versace days.
Yeah. I was like, oh wow, this is a good one. It's just you.
Oh,
Yeah.
Boy, man, that was a different time.
Hey, underrated for sure. But yeah.
So let's talk about your events, man, because you got a
Mhm.
ton of them. So
Okay.
this is I pulled the image from this one just because it's what you have on your page. So I figured that this one's important to you. What?
That's the next one coming up, yeah.
All right. So that's why it's important to you. All right, makes sense.
Well, there's more to it than that, but like that's the one. That's the reason I have it up on my page. I mean, all the events are important for big reasons, but yeah, this one is going to be at the 6th Precinct building, and actually, this will be the first like really like big event that they've had there. And I'm actually happy that COVID restrictions are lightening up because that means that we can possibly open the doors to a few more people than we had or have been anticipating because of it. So it's that's good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely, that's awesome. I mean, you have some really big names here coming here. So you have Chris and Mike from the Tennessee Wraith Chasers, Dan Class, Katie Stafford, Tim Woolworth. Then you have Todd and Jeff from Detroit Paranormal Expeditions. And then you have Steve and Katie from Hultay Paranormal. Now, they do ITC devices, don't they?
Steve and Katie are, I consider them to be OGs in the ghost box field. Steve has been building ghost boxes since at least 2006, I believe. And Tim Woolworth,
wow.
Yeah, like Steve learned from Frank Sumption, like the Frank, and I know Steve worked with Joe as well as he's really worked with a lot of different people over the years, and I don't think he gets enough credit for the amount that he's done. And then really Tim Woolworth has been in it since I think 2007. So like just shortly, like right around the same time that Steve got into it, Tim started getting into it. Tim doesn't build, but like he runs ITC Voices, Paranormal Study. ITC Voices is like the go-to website for Ghostbox history, for ITC information in general. It's a great website. But yeah, Steve and Katie are. I think Steve is a legend in his own right, man. He really is.
And then you have Christy Duncan, Mike Couch from the Haunted Roads Hotel. I don't know if people know about Mike Couch and his Lost Limbs Foundation. He does some really cool stuff within the paranormal community too. You have Joe Warner, you have Matt Warner, so you have the Warner Paranormal going on here, huh? And then Brandy Mary.
No relation.
I know. But Matt Warner's team is the Warner
Expedition.
Yeah.
Explorers, I think. Yeah. But I think it's just him, really. I don't know if he has I don't know if it's got really a team or if it's just him, but he just kind of goes wherever. And I know he does a lot with Steve Broad.
Yep.
He does a lot with he does a lot with a lot of different people.
Yeah.
He's everywhere, man.
he is pretty much everywhere, man. He does a lot on the East Coast. He's
omnipresent. Yeah.
right. And then you have some awesome sponsors with NiCam. I don't know if people are familiar with NiCam. I actually have one of their cameras and rig sets, which is, I mean, they're really, he takes these GoPros, man, and he turns them to something that's just, he like, talk about going differently. He uses different filters. So you see things in different ways and hopefully capture things.
Yeah, but why would you want to try new things? I just don't understand. Why can't we just keep things the way they are and keep doing the same techniques?
The definition of insanity is trying the same thing over and over again, expecting different results.
I will say though, Joel does not even use GoPros though. Like he uses just a generic ass camera that he is, and then he actually replaces the entire chipset out of it. He doesn't just take the little IR filter out the lens and like a lot of these quote unquote Paramart.com websites. And I'm not going to say the names because I don't give them that much. But he actually will remove the chipset out of these generic cameras, and really he just is left with the enclosure and the lens itself. And he puts an entirely new chipset in, an entirely new camera itself in. And I mean, these cameras are amazing because really the different modes, on top of the fact that he hand mills these threads around the lens so that you can interchange the different filters that you want. Like you could actually turn it from full spectrum back to daytime by just adding the IR filter. Just screw it back onto the lens and boom, you got a daytime camera. Take it off, boom, your night vision. Or you have a red filter, green filter, black and white. You can even do like he has one of the cameras, the junior models and above, actually, they have the reverse negative mode is what he calls it.
I have that one.
The negative is badass. I love the negative full spectrum. And even, have you played, or do you have the Gecko model? Do you have it with the Gecko? The lenses?
I don't think so.
You don't have the lenses?
I got mine 2 years ago at the Paris Icon. So it's it's when he first came out with that filter.
Well, so I mean, he actually hand mills threads around the lenses now, so you can actually interchange it. And he's got, I mean, I love the reverse negative filter with the like, because you can do reverse negative full spectrum basically. Mm-hmm. And then you could add the red onto it, the green onto it. You could add all kinds of the blue filter onto it and play around with these different frequencies with the reverse. And I love the reverse mainly because the negative, because it makes everything that's dark light and everything that's light dark. So like just swaps it. Like when you're looking at the old negatives from photos.
Yeah.
Dude, like basically that's what you're viewing it.
You know what I like about you, Austin?
What's that?
Dude, you are all about supporting people in the field. You're all about, man, dude, you go, I just mentioned NiCam as being a sponsor for your event, and you're just like, boom, boom, boom. And same with the guy who does the Ghost Gear Tech with the puck. He's like, man, dude, I love it, that it's amazing, and that we need more of that in the paranormal community. Because I know you said you don't like the term para-unity, but you know what? I do, because I like the word unity, and I think that the paranormal community needs to be more united, and that needs more of what you're doing, man. That's amazing, because you're not just about like pushing the product. You actually know about the product, and you know what they're about, and that's amazing. And that makes you a great salesperson for each of these people. These people are lucky to have you, man, because it's awesome. No problem, dude. Oh, dude, we need a lot more of that in the field, because people, they want to keep things to themselves. Oh, where'd you get that from? Oh, I got it from a website. But dude, you know what? If I find something cool, man, I want to push it. I want to help. That's why I started the podcast, man. Is because I want to help people. This all takes a lot of work. You talk about whether it's an event, a device, what have you. it takes a lot of work to build it, and then it takes even more work to promote it. That's expensive. That's time consuming, and honestly, that's the sucky part of it all, right? That's the worst part, and that's where podcasts really come in. That's where the community needs to come in. We need to support each other with that and help spread the word for each other. Let's not keep things to ourselves, guys. It doesn't matter if it's evidence, if it's let's not be so secretive. I don't understand it. Let's get the word out, man. Let's learn from each other. Let's teach each other. Let's take it to the next level. And that, to me, I feel like as much as we want to try new things, I feel like in order for the field itself to get to the next level, it's not going to happen until people freaking decide to work together.
Yeah, and I think to adding on to that, I mean, people need to be more open-minded about the way that things really are, because I think that TV specifically has created this mass belief system that everybody just like seems to follow almost religiously, and any ideas that are outside of what they think they know are very they'll shun away. They'll just like, no, I don't want to hear it. I don't believe it.
Yep.
But it's like, well, have you actually looked into it? Have you thought about the concept? Have you looked at the idea as to what the possibilities may be? Because how can you say that it doesn't work?
Yeah.
Because it's not giving you results. Now, and you were talking earlier, when you got a voice that came through the hacked radio, where you had no reception. That's something that in the ITC field we call the direct radio voice, or a DRV. That didn't come from the radio itself. That came
directly from.
It came from the the direct link that we use. A lot of these devices that we use, one of the reasons I like to have the echo and reverb on there is to look for those direct radio voices, because the direct radio voices, if they don't have echo and reverb, then they did not come from the tuner, because it goes tuner, preamp, echo, reverb, and then speaker. So there's no getting around the way. I may have flipped the speaker or the preamp, but the way circuitry works, and there's no getting around it. So when you start getting voices and words that are coming through that don't have these traits that you would expect, that's a direct radio voice, and that's where EVPs come in. That's where you'll get that voice that said "get out" through a hacked radio, and there's no radio signal anywhere nearby. It doesn't make sense, but there it is.
There it is, clear as day.
Wow.
Or how about when you get that disembodied voice that doesn't come up on any recording?
That's frustrating as hell, man.
It really is, man. But it's freaking. I'll tell you what, though, in the moment, it's freaking awesome, dude. Because if you heard something and the people that you're with all heard it, and it didn't come up on anything, then what you heard is not anything that's within the normal spectrum.
I feel for people that are psychic mediums or clairvoyants that are able to really see and hear everything. But I can't imagine the frustration if you are participating in an investigation and you're seeing and hearing all this, but everybody looks at you I mean, if I don't hear the evidence, I don't believe you.
Right.
Used equipment, used devices, used recorders, used ghost boxes, use something to verify for everybody else. It's not for you, it's for everybody else.
Yep. I don't know, man. I couldn't imagine just being able to see spirit, and I don't know. That would be a crazy life, I'll tell you what. So kind of going back to to your event here, it's July 31st, and it's from 12 p.m. to 1 a.m.
Yes, but we actually have a pre-event thing that we're doing. It's actually coffee and donuts for $30. We're allowing people to come in, have coffee and donuts with the guests, with the celebrities after they've gotten done setting up their table. It's from 9:30 to 11. So there's this 2-hour period where we're just going to chat in the arraignment room, talk about history of the precinct itself, And then talk ghost stories with coffee and donuts. I think it's going to be really good. I mean, coffee and donuts in a precinct, man. I mean, it's like so perfect.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. So, and that's kind of a cool idea, but it's kind of like you can get access to the I guess the vendors, the celebrities, everybody before everybody else gets in. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like a pre.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Nice. What are some of the other events too that you have coming up?
August 7th, the next weekend, is the Ghost Hunt for Brian.
What?
Look at that.
I don't know how I had that ready.
Well, that's not really my event. That's more your event, but I'm part
It's
of it.
Brian's
I guess
event.
I'm on the post tracking, so it's Brian's event. Yeah.
It's the Felice's event, man. I'm just
Not this Brian, the other Brian.
Not this Brian. Brian with
Not
an
that
eye.
Brian. I'm pointing in the right direction.
Yes.
Yeah. It's good.
But
Yeah.
So there's that one, and then September 11th, I got my final event of the year. It's the Static Voices event, and I don't even know if it's really as much of an event as it is more of a big ITC experiment.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm actually trying to bring out like all of the greatest minds in ITC. Like I'm bringing out. Obviously, I have to have Tim Woolworth there. Me and Tim are actually been planning this like together for a while. We're going to do it at the funeral home in Felicity. Now, the cool thing about the funeral home is that the owner is so on board with what we're doing for him that he's actually trying to find a way to wire up every single room with a speaker and a microphone. And that will all come back down to a mixer underneath the stairs, literally for the sole purpose of being able to play different things in different rooms, being able to move that audio back around if you wanted. Like it's literally going to be an ITC playground for anybody that wants to do audio experiments inside of this place. And the even cooler is that it's got a detached garage that was turned into a recording studio at one point. So it has a soundproof.
That's perfect.
Booth.
Right.
That you can put whatever into, like for your control, you can put your home base system in there, wire everything over to the Broadwell Funeral Home, monitor every little aspect of the audio. Like it's going to be so badass. I'm so excited. And we have I'm trying to find like a 12 channel or a 8 channel mixer so that literally you can flip and choose. Like if you wanted to play one ghost box throughout the whole house, you could, or you could even to play 8 different ghost boxes in 8 different rooms. You could do the Estes method on a scale that people have not even thought about. Like, boom. Right.
Nice.
Wow.
That's awesome. That's so cool he's willing to do that. I mean, that's a project in itself. And then, man, that's awesome.
No,
if you know some of the musicians, man, who have recording studios, you get that sound mixer going. I only know people in the Cleveland area, so I can't help you with that. But
I can find one.
I know a lot of people that do. Actually, I do know a musician in Cincinnati.
I know plenty of them. I mean, it's easy to find a mixer online or on the marketplace or whatever for a decent price. We can get a good one. But I mean, on top of Tim, I'm bringing out like Steve and Katie Hultay. I'm bringing out Ron Iacovetti and Lourdes Gonzalez, who are really big on DRV specifically. They actually study the long wave bands of the radio, like air traffic controller, higher frequencies, like shit that nobody really studies, and they're studying specific megahertz, like 222. No, is it megahertz or kilohertz? I think kilohertz. 222. It's like really, really high up. But like they actually like are manually dialing, like fine tuning these radios to set it to a dead station and try to get communication. They're actually trying to narrow down the frequency.
Nice.
But I'm bringing both of them out. I'm bringing Tony and Sherry Rathman, who own the they don't own it, but I know they work with the old Copper Canyon Paranormal Research Center, which is the old Dodge Phelps Hospital out in Arizona.
Okay.
And he actually does a lot with ITC as well. I'm hoping to get Jay Prather out there. Jay is a kind of a last minute. If his schedule can make it, if he can work it with his schedule, then he will come.
Okay.
I'm working on a couple other people. I'm working on bringing one guy out of retirement just for this event. A guy, I don't know if anybody has heard of Chicago Spirit Wave. Is very early on in the big ghost box craze. It was like before Huff came out and destroyed the field. It was Andy Openlander. Andy Openlander. If you guys have ever heard of him.
I think if anyone's given ITC a bad name, it's Huff. So.
Oh, he destroyed it. He took everybody's ideas, made it all about money, and like turned all the builders against each other, and it just created a domino effect because nobody trusted each other. I mean, these guys all used to be in the same Yahoo chat room, sharing ideas and talking and trying to figure things out together. Like they would ask each other for advice. Then Huff came, took all those secrets and sold them all for different, turned them into products and sold them for thousands of dollars. And so now none of the builders trusted each other for a long time. It's like, what are you going to do? You're going to take my idea and you're going to go and sell it?
Yeah.
And go and give it to somebody else who's going to sell it? It's like that's the kind of mentality that they had for a long time. But like the fact that I'm actually getting some of these guys out in the same room together is astounding to me. But even a guy that might come out of retirement for it too, just for this,
that's pretty cool. I mean, but if you think about it, man, I could see how an ITC person would really want to be a part of an experiment like this.
Yeah.
You're turning you're turning a funeral home into a ITC device.
Basically.
That's insane.
And we have a garage that's like completely renovated with offices and a recording studio that is completely separated, man. This place is as controlled as it can get. Really.
That
is sick.
Dude.
And we're only allowing 15 people. Like that's it. Like 15 people. And this will be the first time in history that these guys are in the same building together in some instances. I mean, some of the greatest minds. Like it's just I'm so excited for it, man.
That's awesome. That's so cool that you're able to pull something like that together. I mean, you are no stranger to putting together good events. I mean, people love going to your events and stuff. What if someone were to say, "Hey, I want to start an event or hosting events"? What's the best way to get started in doing something like that?
Oh man. Well, attend somebody's event, somebody else's event. Get to know some of the celebrities, I mean, a lot of it is networking. A lot of it is being able to have the means and the resources to pull something that off. I mean, it takes a lot of planning, a lot of, and you got to be aware of much all at once, and you got to have help. You gotta have, I couldn't do this by myself. The first one I tried to do it, and it was a mess. It was horrible, and I admit that. But now I have a whole crew that just I can rely on them. And honestly, it's almost to the point where they could run it. I plan it all out and just hand them the details and here, this is what we're doing. And boom, they got it.
Nice.
Wow. I love it.
Nice.
But it takes a lot of time and dedication and really putting the work in to network and to get with the to figure out the finer details. I mean, obviously insurance is a big thing. The locations are a big thing. I mean, there's a lot of expenses that go into it. It's a lot. It's a lot, man. It's just make sure you know what you're getting yourself into, I guess.
I mean, so it's more than just finding the connection of getting the celebrities. And some, I'm sure that a lot of these celebrities don't come for free.
No. I mean, flights are not cheap. Hotels aren't cheap.
Right.
And then you add on appearance fees. I mean, that's what these guys are getting paid to spend the weekend living out of a hotel and traveling across the country to come and be around a bunch of weirdo fans that won't leave them alone.
Right. That's true. I mean, that
$500, $1,000, $1,500 to spend your weekend doing that every weekend.
Right. That's a crazy life right there. But I'll tell you what with Ghost Hunt for Brian, everybody that's coming, more and more people are joining us. We have everyone, it's a volunteer. Dan Class, dude, he's volunteering everything. I'm like, dude, Brian, dude, I really appreciate you, Dan, coming out. It's a big deal for you. You're leaving your family and stuff. You're going to have to get I'm like, dude, what can I do to help you? He said nothing. He wants nothing from me. He just wants to come be part of it and help the Felicia family out. It's amazing, dude. So doing what I'm doing is a whole nother level compared to what you do. I'm getting people together to raise money for an amazing family, for a family of paranormal investigators out of Michigan, and they're fighting cancer. Dude's working through it, man. Guys, seriously. And then I've been talking to Austin. Austin's, dude, you've been helping so much with the planning with this, and dude, you've made it so that's $50 plus $2.50 fee. $50 goes to the Felicia family. There's no hidden anything. Every single bit of cash that we make from here on out, the only money that's not going to the Felicia family is the fee for the tickets. And we need to make sure that we're doing the tickets in a way that is a professional way. So because we don't want to, we need to have this as a legit event, right? But at the same time, we need to make sure we're getting as much money for the Felicia family. And awesome, man, you're helping that happen, and it's amazing. With the location, you let us use your ticket. Your ticket source. I don't even know what that source is called. I mean, what that type of business is called. A ticket
sales platform.
Platform. There you go. See, this is how much I don't do this for, and honestly, this just came up as like an idea, and then literally an hour later, it was happening. It was insane, absolutely insane. And it's because of it's a lot because of you, man. You were the first guy I reached out to. I was like, hey, man, you got some locations. Can you help? You're like, which location? I was like, I thought you were like, yeah, man, you can have this location. That's cool. On this, dude, you made it so easy. It's awesome. And guys, we're going to be auctioning off this doll. We have other things we're going to be auctioning off. I want to talk a little bit more. I know we're a little bit over time, but we're going to be offering solo investigations. Most public hunts don't let you do solos. We're going for an additional $10. You get a 15-minute solo, but for another $10, we can use the ghost helmet, right?
Yes, sir.
Dude, tell us about this ghost helmet, man. I've heard of the God helmet. What is this ghost helmet, dude?
Well, the ghost helmet was, it's kind of like, I mean, the God helmet kind of inspired the ghost helmet. KD Stafford built the ghost helmet based on the idea that the brain stimulation could possibly enhance your ability to see or hear or just kind of pick up on things that you wouldn't normally. The best way that I describe it is like if you were to look at the bandwidth of a radio on a car or something, your FM band. Now, if you were to basically take the AM band, split that apart and put it on the ends of that, and then that's what your brain can pick up on now when you wear the helmet, is like that much more is the best way for me to describe it. But basically, the differences between the God helmet and the ghost helmet are mainly the way it works. Like the God helmet had electromagnetic charges that would pulse into your brain to stimulate these God spots that they thought would trigger these spiritual experiences. And people claim that they spoke to God. They claim that they saw the devil. I mean, they had all kinds of crazy things happen.
Yeah.
But the ghost helmet now, the electricity is kind of a dangerous aspect of the God helmet. So the ghost helmet, instead of using electromagnetic charges, it actually uses magnetic pulses. So it's more of a kind of like a pressurized, like a vibrational frequency rather than an electrical frequency.
Okay.
So it's kind of more just flowing on the sides of your on the left and the right. What do they call the left and the right sides of your brain is stimulating those based on the frequency level, magnetic frequencies. So kind of like just pulsing and stimulating certain parts of your brain. And this is what they believe is actually able to, what I think at least, is able to enhance what you're able to experience. It does not make you hallucinate. It doesn't recognize that it's having any kind of effect on you even. But when you start having like crazy, like I've seen people that see shadows and see entities that are looking at them from across the way, see, they feel things and see things that they normally would not have experienced.
Yeah, without it on.
And I mean, there are people that tell me it is the most intense experience they've had in their life, but they're so happy they did it because they felt a paranormal experience that they've just never been able to get before. Right. I've even had some psychic mediums tell me it silences the noise, if that makes sense. Apparently psychic mediums might understand that. I don't know. There's a lot of different things I like to use it to connect with the ghost box and try to tap into that other side and make a deeper connection than what I typically can do. You know what I mean? It's an interesting aspect, man.
Yeah, it's trying new stuff.
Definitely. Now, you know what I'm hearing? I'm hearing that for $20, you can have $50 admission, $20, you can have an unforgettable time of your life, and you're helping a family in need. Guys, come on. This is insane. So, sorry. So, you said that you like to use it for your ghost box. And then you know what I thought of, right when you said that? I thought of Jeff Fent. Because this guy, he doesn't do the guts. He doesn't do the ITC part of it. He builds the box. And he literally, it's like he puts he's got this mediumship. He's got this special gift. And he puts his gift into these boxes that he builds. And he makes these boxes so, man, it's like they have a connection to spirit, man. And it's something that he does. He puts his heart and his soul into it. I wish I could get a Jeff Fent box just because of that. I know that they're getting harder and harder to get. So if you have one, you are a lucky, lucky soul.
I don't have one. That's one I don't have.
Oh man, just get that with the one, and then hook up with one of your ITC friends, and you have the freaking that thing is that would be awesome.
Actually, Jay Prather has a box out there that's he actually has a tuner and all the internals inside of an Emmett House box somewhere.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, so I know it's been done.
Yeah, definitely. So real quick, we are over on time. How can people get tickets to your events? How can people find your events? How can people find you? How can people book investigations at your locations?
There's a website that is scrolling across the ticker on the bottom there. Facebook.com/theUGPN is where everything is, like access to all the locations. All the tags are on there. All the events are based out of that page, as well as the ticket sales links are on the event pages on that page. So nice. It all ties back to that Facebook page.
Nice. And did we hit all of your locations? I know I got distracted as soon as the Ghost Hunt for Brian came up. Is there anything that we missed? Anything else you want to throw out there before we call it a night?
Location number 7 may be coming soon.
Oh, how are we going to hear about location number 7?
There's a little website.
Nice. I mean, I've seen little teasers of you talking about this new location.
80,000 square feet, bro.
Woo.
Yeah.
That's big.
Okay.
Can you give us like a hint? Like, what was the building?
It is a former high school building built in 1918.
Ooh. 1918? You know what else was built? You know what else was built in 1918? My house.
Your house? Oh.
I know all about the dust in the old buildings because my house is dusty as hell. It's because it's an old house. I mean, it's all updated.
You heard it here first. Yeah, Austin is managing Sean's former school ground house that he lives in.
Ooh,
And you can investigate Sean's house
where do you get
anytime
some of
you
this stuff
want.
from? And so,
I guess that's what's going on.
and you know what else happened in 1918? The Spanish flu, and we're just now getting over COVID. So I thought that was pretty cool too. Sorry. So that's awesome. So it's an old high school, man, dude. The drama, oh, the fights, dude. High school, man. High school is
Well,
the best, worst time of your life.
It has no like there's a lot of tragedy that ties back to this area, and it has nothing to even do with the school itself.
Really?
Like,
Okay.
well, the 1913 flood in Ohio that like killed a lot of people in Ohio. There were actually
Yeah.
361 people, I believe, that died in this particular town,
Oh wow.
all at once from the 1913 flood.
Okay.
That was
And
around the
that's-
Dayton area. So
Oh, it's in a little further north is where it got hit the worst. There's a delta. There's a delta of rivers: the Auglaize River, the Miami River, and the there's one other one that ties into this one specific city, and it over flooded this entire city. Like I have pictures from it, and I mean, houses were destroyed. 361 people died, man.
wow.
Either 361 or 367, but I think it's 361.
Wow. That's crazy.
That's just on top of the other things that have happened there
Yeah.
on the property.
Okay.
I mean, it's just
Right. There's that whole area of Ohio. It's really interesting that you've chosen that area of Ohio, especially the northwestern part of Ohio. There's a lot of neat history and a lot of dark history there with America. There's old forts that the Army used to hunt down Native Americans. There's all sorts of crazy stuff. A lot of people don't even know that there's a black swamp. That a lot of northern Ohio was all swamp. There's no way you'd know that these days. So
they
it's really
have
cool.
the Black Swamp Arts Festival in Bowling Green every year.
Nice. Now, do you have any plans? This is my last question. I don't know if you have any more questions, Brian.
No.
Do you have any plans of coming to Eastern Ohio?
I don't have any current plans, but
Okay.
I don't know what the future holds. If the right opportunity comes up, we can add it to the Underground Paranormal. I hope it goes nationwide eventually.
Okay.
Like, I would love to see like a nationwide network of underground locations
Mm-hmm.
that are just brought to the light, and like people can check this one network where it's like, oh man, I wonder what new locations have been recently discovered and recently released, because people are tired of going to Waverly Hills and the same damn place. I mean Waverly Hills is great, but I mean, how many people have gone in there and asked the same questions?
Mm-hmm.
It's more the bragging rights of going like, yeah, it's checked off my list.
Yeah, I paid $1,000 to go there.
Right. Awesome. Well, Austin, brother, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, we appreciate you. And so I run a team, Your Paranormal. We're gonna get in contact. We'll go ahead and put the X dollars down, and we'll do all 6 locations. We're looking forward to it. And also, we need to find a good location. One of them, even multiple. Because for the podcast, we do the solo run challenges where Sean and I will go do duo runs. We'll, I don't know if you'll be there or whoever, we can get the tour on the podcast, just like a shortened version, hour, talk about it, publicize it. And then we're going to do some duo runs, solo runs there, crazy. So we got to be in contact after this. So that's all I wanted to say.
Yeah,
I want to flow some love your way and whatever we got to do. So
definitely, man. I mean, this is like where we push ourselves to the limit,
Mm-hmm.
and this is where we give ourselves the opportunity to learn something new. So rather than going with, going with the team, when I feel like when you're alone, I don't know, man. It's a whole nother story when you're all by your lonesome.
I'd be interested to see how that would go in some of these places, man. I might hang out just to see how it goes.
That's what. Yeah,
That'd
we're
be like
blindfolded and everything, so it's gonna be exciting.
Yeah, we do blindfolded. We do the blindfolded. And, oh man,
Do the blindfolded with a ghost helmet on.
ooh,
Literally
Ooh.
recreate the God helmet experiment, except with the ghost helmet.
I see, man. God, I can only imagine the ghost helmet. Like I have a friend that had the God helmet. He probably still has it. But I wouldn't go near the thing because I already know I'm sensitive to this stuff. Like,
Yeah,
man.
it gets a little scary when you start talking about like electrical like discharges, like pulses being put into your brain. Like,
Yeah.
Your cell phone puts a lot of EMF already off into your head every time you hold it up to your ear, but you're talking about shooting electric pulses into certain.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, the person I know that had it was so close to me. It's on. Anyways, I probably shouldn't say that. Anyways, I stopped myself. It's a cool device. I would not try it, but the only reason why I didn't want to try it was because I'm already sensitive. I don't need that. But the ghost helmet.
It's different.
I'd like to see Brian would do the ghost helmet.
I'd like to see you do the ghost helmet and see how it affects the rest of your night. Because people say that after wearing the helmet, they still seem to like be able to experience deeper things than what they normally would, like for the rest of their night, and they're perfectly functional. Like nothing is skewed. Like my partner said, he was driving home and was seeing like people standing on the sides of the roads, and like that's freaky, man.
Yeah,
And he was like, man, I was driving just fine. I wasn't swerving. I was normal, but man, I was just seeing these people like, what the hell, standing in the dark.
Yeah.
I saw that at the when I first pulled up to the nunnery, Brian.
Yeah.
I saw a man. I saw. Oh, okay. Maybe I might be up to the challenge.
Hey, I had to kick out real quick. I'm planning a bachelor party, and I have this weekend, and I have a phone call.
No, it's fine. We got to wrap up the show.
Okay.
We got to wrap it up, man. We're over by 17 minutes. I appreciate you guys hanging out, man.
Yeah,
it's definitely been a blast. Awesome. We got to have you on again. I do want to try and get at least most of the people who are going to be joining us for the ghost hunt for Brian. Maybe we can even get at least Angie on from the Felicias. I don't know if she'd be up to it, but I want to try and get as many people on so we can just kind of hang out, party as a one last thing. We have a little bit over half tickets left already, so we might need that final push. We'll see. But man, Austin, I really appreciate you. Brian, thank you, brother. Everybody, I hope we helped you guys over this hump day and help you guys slide right back into the weekends. And it's a long weekend this weekend, guys. So enjoy yourselves, be safe, stay healthy, and everyone have a great one.
Thanks, everyone. This paranormal adventure that we're all on, it connects us. This is our paranormal community. This is our paranormal podcast with your host, Sean Gilmore.
He's worked in the paranormal field for 10 years.
He was featured on the TV show Paranormal Survivor that airs on Travel Channel.
His passion is creating para-unity.
With your host, Brian Mersel.
He's worked in the paranormal field for 7 years.
He leads his own paranormal team.
He wants to help people start their paranormal adventure or grow their existing one. This is our paranormal adventure. This is our paranormal community. This is our paranormal podcast.
It's about supporting. It's about making para-unity a real thing, because we all need to support each other within our community, and that's what the show has always been about.